Hi everyone, it's Don, and I was recently asked by a subscriber to talk about the Navigator of the Seas as they're going on a cruise shortly. So here's my thoughts on Royal Caribbean's Navigator of the Seas, coming up right after this. The Navigator of the Seas is Royal Caribbean's second generation Voyager class that added a couple specialty restaurants, expanded the Windjammers Cafe, and actually put on things like the Flow Rider, which was completely different from the first generation of the ship. It was built back in 2002, holds about 3,800 passengers, and in fact, from 2002 to 2005, she was actually the largest cruise ship in the world at the time. Navigator of the Seas will always be known for Royal Caribbean's first ship to ever have the virtual balconies, the ones that have the camera that feed into a large TV screen built into the wall that makes it look like you're overlooking a balcony. It even has the railing there as if you had a balcony outside your window, and what that has added is it brings a lot of light into an inside cabin, as well as giving you an idea. You can just look at it and see what the weather is outside. And they also have speakers that actually bring in ocean sounds as well, if you want to have the whole true experience of a balcony. So they were a quite unique design at the time. As with any of the larger Royal Caribbean ships, you're going to have all the basic entertainment. You're going to have a mini putt, which is an actual mini putt, not just a putting range that you see on some ships. It's an actual 9 holes. You're going to have the Flow Rider for surf simulating. They got a large rock climbing wall. They have a Studio B ice skating rink that you can even rent skates and go ice skating during your own free time if that's what you want to do. And they also put on some very nice ice performances that are quite interesting, especially on a sea day to do while you're on the ship. It gives you just a lot of venues as far as entertainment is concerned. All over the ship, the main hustle area is the Promenade Area, which is a standard on most large Royal Caribbean ships. It seems to be the main hub. You're going to have tons of shops and coffee houses, ice cream, things like that. During the day, they will sometimes have the circus parade for your family to enjoy, which the kids all love to participate as they dance down through the Promenade Area. There's always live music playing at various times of the day, and depending also where the ship is sailing to. For instance, if they were sailing someplace that say would have more of a Caribbean theme, that's the kind of music they'll play in the atriums. What if you headed over to Japan, you might have a completely different feel of music in there. So it is culturally based a lot of the times as far as the music in the atrium is concerned, which is quite nice. The dining halls, including the main dining halls for the restaurant, restaurant main dining eating, are very luxurious and very beautiful on this ship. And there are some locations that has some spectacular sea views and ocean views. And if you happen to get the seat by the windows during a sea day for dinner and everything, it's absolutely a great place to have your meals. As far as the food is concerned, they have the main dining is fine. Windjammers Cafe is large, has a lot of selection up there as a buffet area. And if you're looking for the specialty restaurants, you can't go wrong with Chop's Grill, or perhaps you might want to dig in Giovanni's for an Italian meal. And one of my personal favorites, of course, is the Asian fusion kind of meal where you can also get sushi or Asian inspired food in Izumi. I love eating Asian food on cruise ships. I don't know what it is. I hardly ever have it when I'm back in my own hometown. But I love eating Asian food on my cruise ship. So yeah, Izumi's is one of my favorite out of all the cruise lines. And lastly, one of my favorite things about sailing anytime on Royal Caribbean is their Broadway shows. They like to do real Broadway shows. They'll play Grease, they've had Hair, and one of my favorites that I've ever seen was when they played ABBA. It was great, fantastic. Of course, those eras are from my generation, so I might be a little biased that way. But I really enjoyed the Broadway shows on my Royal Caribbean trips, and the Navigator of the Sea was no exception. And one more thing before I go, again on sea days, because she's a large ship and they have a large sports deck up top, it takes up a lot of space, but it can seem very crowded around the pool areas on sea days. It can be really feeling claustrophobic sometimes. So keep that in mind as well. You might want to plan activities on sea days and avoid trying to find a deck chair because first of all, they can be really hard to find, and second of all, it doesn't have that open feeling like it does when you're walking through the promenade and things like that, where you feel like it's a large open space. Up on deck, quite often it can feel very crowded and claustrophobic. So there you go. That's just a few things that I think about the Navigator of the Seas. I've sailed on her twice in the past little while. So it's a nice ship. It's a large ship, and it was refurbished in 2014. So she's still looking really refreshed and really good. She doesn't need an overhaul yet. It's only been 4 years. So she's a really good choice if you don't want to pay that top end dollar for Royal Caribbean large ships like the Symphony or the Oasis. This is a really good alternative that gives you a lot of the comforts that the other ships have and a lot of the luxury. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more tip videos and more ship reviews and more cruising vlogs, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.